Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So NGT. So there are acts which are listed in the schedule. So there have been questions asked that which of the following act, because there are 7 acts given in the list. So which of the following act is not given in the schedule of NGT? So you have to answer that. So you must be knowing what are the acts which are given in the schedule. So that is also important for you to know. Other than that, you don't have to go into detail of the NGT. I will be uploading a video very soon for NGT so that you can refer to. Then human rights. So these topics are something that very like skimming is required. Just what are the concept of human right, etc. This also you can skip if you don't have much time. This you can skip because there are very few questions asked from this particular chapter. So don't go into deep of these things. Group rights, it's very lengthy. It's very lengthy if you start studying for everything this from this group rights. It's very lengthy. So you can skip this also because this you will also be able to answer even if you have not studied. Like from common sense also you have to use the common sense. If you are studying at the last moment, you have to use a lot of common sense while answering the question, because most of the question can be asked with common sense if you have a basic understanding of law. So that is there. Then
अरे पानी भर चुकी है, कौन लगाया पानी? अरे पानी गिर गया ना, कौन लगाया था पानी?
mute yourself. IPR. The concept of IPR, the theories of intellectual property, convention related to intellectual property. So there are also again 10 topics given under this unit.
Ankita,
Please mute yourself. We are not able to hear, ma'am. Please mute yourself, Ankita.
Okay. So here, the concept of intellectual property, the theories of intellectual property are given over here. So just go through the meaning of intellectual property. What is the meaning? For example, the theories which have been given for intellectual property by the thinkers, that is important. Then convention, there are few very important convention that happened after which the intellectual property laws came in the countries. So those conventions are important. Then copyright, patent, trademark. So these 3 topics are the introductory topics. You can say these 3 topics are the introductory topics. After this, there are 3 major topics which are given, which is copyright, patent, and trademark. And for copyright, for example, these are the topics which are given in the syllabus. So the sections in the act, the Copyright Act, those sections which talks about the subject matter, for example, section 13, 14, where the subject matter have been given, like literary works, cinematography, the music work. These are the subject matter for copyright. So that is important. Then limitation and exceptions given under the act, under section are important. Infringement and remedies are important. So in the syllabus, only if you are going through the syllabus nicely, you will be able to know that what are asked in the examination, what you are required to know for the purpose of examination from the law. You are not required to complete the whole act of copyright or the complete act of patent or trademark. You just have to cover these topics which are given over here. You can also go through the PYQ. You will know that only the question from these topics have been asked. Also, I would like to say that from IPR, not many questions are asked. Like this is not one of the unit like jurisprudence and constitution. This is medium one. There are topics from law. You can say most important, important, and less important. From high, medium, and low. So this is the medium one from which questions are asked, but not a lot of them. So accordingly, you can prepare. Then after covering these 3, come to these, and these are not the most important and most asked units. The GI, the biodiversity, these 2 topics are not asked a lot. This is the least asked question. So you can skip this if you are just doing the selective study. Then IT law. IT law has been asked a lot from this unit in the past years, because this is the recent law, this is a new law. And from this also, I would say that in the definition clause, the definition of signature, the definition of information technology, everything are asked from the clauses. There are so many clauses given under the act, and the question have been asked from those clauses also. So if you are doing IT law, if you are not only IT law, if you are focusing on this unit, if you want to score in this unit, IPR, you should be doing the IT law. From the other unit, I have not told you to do cover the minor acts, but if you are targeting this unit, if you are strong in IPR, don't limit to copyright, patent and trademark, because from IT law, a lot of questions have been asked in the past year. So if you are covering this unit, cover the IT law as well. From the IT law, especially focus on the definition clause. You should be knowing all the definition, not the complete definition, but under which clause, what definition have been given, such question have been asked. For example, electronic signature is given under which clause, that has been asked. So that's how you have to cover the IT law. Then cybercrime penalty and adjudication, there are sections under the IT law itself for cyber crimes. So there are various types of cyber crimes that is listed in the IT law. That also question have been asked. So if you are covering this unit, just cover this 9 and 10 very importantly. If not everything, you don't want to study this whole topic, then please do the PYQ. There are questions asked repetitively from the IT law. These clauses, this definition, there have been repetition from the exam, from the previous year question. So please cover the PYQ, if not the whole law. All right. Now the last point for which I have received a lot of comments and lot of queries for completing this particular unit comparative, because for this there is a lot of there's not a lot of material available to study this. Now, if you have not studied from at least past 2 months or 3 months, you are just targeting UGC net by in this few 15, 20 or 1 month, don't do this. Just skip this. Just skip this, because from this, according to my analysis, there are so few questions asked in the previous years. You will see the question and it is very less possibility that you know the answer, even if you have covered this, because it is so wide. This topic is so wide. There's a whole honors course on this topic. So it is so wide topic that you will not be able to cover this topic just in 10 days or 15 days, and you will not be able to answer. So what's the point of completing so many topics if you are not able to score the marks, which is our purpose? So if you have not done it ever, if you are not constitutional honors also, if you have never studied these topics, then you can skip this. If you want to do it, I will be uploading a video for sure, I promise, for comparative study before examination. Maybe around 7th or 8th June, I will be uploading for comparative. Just listen to that video, that's all. If not that video, any other video, but just don't waste time on this. A lot of people waste time on studying all of these, and it is not fruitful at all. So I have done this because I have done a lot of preparation for my examination, because I had time. But this topic, there were not many questions asked, not even 3 or 4, only 1 or 2 questions were asked. So it's not productive to waste so much of time for this unit at last moment. So that would be my advice for this topic. Now preparation tips, because this video is and this workshop is about the last minute preparation. So because it's not there's not much time left for examination, so you cannot make lengthy notes. You cannot start from scratch that you will study very nicely, you'll complete everything. That is not possible. That is not possible humanly. That is not possible at all, I promise you. That's why please don't make lengthy notes at this moment. Even if you want to make notes so that you will be able to revise it at the last moment, just make some chart, make some table, or just make 1-page note for 1 unit. 1 or 2 page, not more than that, because you will not be having time even to revise it. You'll just waste your time in making those notes. So make it short, make it simple. So just for the purpose that you before day of examination, just go through those topics. That's all. Previous year question are the most important thing at this point. For all the units that you are not able to do, you are not able to cover, just cover the PYQ, because there will be some unit that you will not be able to cover. You are doing the selective study at this moment. So for those topics that you are not able to cover from the scratch or from the syllabus, just complete the PYQs. From the PYQs, if not the exact question will not be asked from PYQ, but it will give you an idea that how you should be answering a question, how you should be eliminating the answers. So also when you are attempting the PYQ, after making the attempt when you are wrong, you have to make analysis of yourself, that where you went wrong, what is the right answer. Also the options from PYQ, you just don't do the questions, you have to understand the options also, because those are the options given which those people who are making the question paper know those topics only. Just remember that. So from the answers also, for example, there is a question in which there are 4 options given, and in all the 4 options there are case laws given. So one answer is for that question, but rest of the 3 case laws are your syllabus. You have to know all those other 3 cases also. That is how you do previous year question for the purpose of examination. So you have to make the analysis and just make these charts and tables to revise at the last moment. Time management, because you are covering 2 paper, not just one. This is just law that I have covered today, but you also have to cover the paper 1, which you cannot leave if you are targeting NET or JRF, because it is not possible at this moment with the competition that is there for NET and JRF. It is not possible to qualify if you are not focusing on paper 1. I am saying that, and I promise you that it is not possible. So please study both the subjects. 2:1 ratio I have written, because whatever time you have, I don't know what you are doing right now, whether you are doing a job or you are studying LLM or something, but whatever time you are giving for NET preparation, suppose 4 hours given or 6 hours you are giving or 10 hours you are giving, whatever time you are giving, divide that time in this ratio 2:1. That means that if you are giving 2 hours for law preparation, give 1 hour for NET paper 1 preparation. That's how you manage both the papers simultaneously. You cannot do at this moment that for 4 days I'll be covering law and then for 2 days I will be covering paper 1. That is not the right way to do. Daily you have to cover both the paper, and don't start anything like I was telling you during all the slides, that don't waste time on the topics that you don't know, and don't go into deep of some of the topic at all, because question are not asked from such depth. So don't do that, because you have less time. Just focus on the PYQs, just focus on the answers, how you are answering, and just focus on the mock test. Why? Because that's how you will be able to understand that even if you don't know the answer, it is a possibility that many questions you will not be knowing. Even when I gave the examination, there were so many questions that I did not know actually the answer of those questions. Just because I was able to eliminate the wrong answer, I got the right answer. Now how I got to eliminate those wrong answers? Because I had attempted a lot of mock tests, and I knew that what are the answers which are not there logically. It's a common sense also a lot of time. So that is how you answer those questions which you don't even know. So that is how you do this, and this is how you will crack UGC NET with JRF, I'm sure. And with this, I would like to thank you all for joining this workshop. This is the first
Thank you,
workshop
ma'am.
that I have conducted, and I'm sure that I will be doing it more often. And I hope to see you very, very soon again with another video. I'll be uploading my videos on YouTube, and I hope that it will be helpful for you. And all the very,
Excuse
very
me, ma'am.
best. Yeah.
I
Thank you,
think
ma'am.
we have missed unit 3.
I have missed unit 3. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, I have missed. Thank you. So public international law and IHL. Okay. So from this, just a second. If you have gone through the PYQ, there are so many questions asked from the case laws. There are so many case laws from international law which have been asked in the previous year question. For example, must have heard of SS Lotus case. You have heard of UK versus Iran Anglo-Iranian oil case. Then Greece versus UCO, which is also known as the Palestine concession case. Then Ethiopia versus National Bank case. Then Luther versus Sagor case. Then Civil Air Transport versus Central Air Transport case. Fisheries case. Fisheries jurisdiction case. Then Island of Palmas arbitration case. Denmark versus Norway case. Cambodia versus Thailand case. These are so many cases, and these are my notes from the previous year question only. I did not have any book for IHL. I did not have any book for international law. The whole notes that I have for the case laws, it is from PYQ. I have just gone through the PYQ. I have done all the notes from PYQ only. In the previous year question, there were so many questions asked from the series, the chronology of the cases, because these cases are not the recent one from 1900, 1905, 1927, 1960, 1969. These are the years from which these cases are. And these are only the few cases that I have listed. So these cases, there's so many cases, at least 50 cases that you will be able to identify only from the previous year question. If you analyze the last 10-year question, you will be able to find at least 50 cases from international law, and the case laws are very important for international law preparation. Then for international law, the second most important thing is who has said what. Like jurisprudence. In jurisprudence, I have told you that about jurisprudence, who said what is important. Similarly, for international law also, who said what is important, because there are so many points given in international law. For example, the Bentham has talked about the international morality. The Hart has talked about the positive morality. Kant has talked about, he has criticized the international law. He has says that it is not valid. The international law is not valid as per Kant. Then Collins has said that it is continuously developing thing. It is a law which is continuously developing. So these are the most important points that I have identified from the previous year question. These are the question that has been asked, what I just said. These people, what this talked about international law, these are the question that have been asked in the previous years. So these are the things which are important for international law. Case laws, who said what. Then next thing is whether international law is true or not. Whether international law is true or not. So there are few thinkers who have said that it is true. There are few thinkers who have said that it is not true. Right? There is a chart which can be made for this. We are talking about international law. Right. So whether international law exists or not exists, that is also a question. That has been a question, whether it is relevant or not relevant. So there is a whole debate about it. Whether it is true or not. Not true, there are three most important thinkers who have talked about it. This is what I'm telling you from the previous year question. Previous year question, these topics have been asked. So here, Austin, Holland, and Bentham and Brown. They have talked about, they have said that international law is not true at all. Because Austin has said that it is only positive international morality which is there. So it is just a moral thing that we are doing towards other nation. It is not a codified rule. There is not a code. There is only moral force which is existing. There is no sovereign authority, which is the most famous argument, that there is no sovereign authority for international law and there is no codified law. So how can we say that it exists at all? So this is what Austin has said. Then Holland, he has said the most important point what he said, which has been asked in the examination and in the question is, it is the vanishing point of jurisprudence. He has said this about international law. Poland has said that. Because, why? Because it has no sanction. There is no sanction in international law. That is why it is a vanishing point of jurisprudence, and that is why it is not a true law. That is what Poland has said. Right? Then Bentham and Brown. He has also said these 2 points only. So he was also supporting that it is not true. So this is what about international law these 3 people have said. Then true law. Who has said that it is a true law? There are 2 people. One is Bullock. Second is Hall and Lawrence. These 2 people have said that international law is a true law. Bullock has said that there is a competent political community which is existing. And it is recognized by all the members, all the states, and that is why it is a true law. Hall and Lawrence has also said that it is enforced as on the basis of custom and precedent, because that is how international law is recognized. So that is why we are following it as per custom and precedent, and that is why it is a true law. So this is what these people have talked about international law, and that is important. Then the subjects of international law is also important. Like some has said that it is state only which is the subject for international law. Some has said that individuals are the only one who are the subject of international law. Some has said that state, individual, and other non-state entities are also subject of international law. So these are 3 categories about international law subject. Now this is also important because question has been asked. This is what I am saying is only from previous year questions. So one was whether state is only subject, one was whether individual was only subject, and one was whether both are the subject. And there are different people who have talked about different points over here, like Corbett and Oppenheim has said that it is only state which is the subject. Kelsen has said that it is only individual which is a subject. And that is how this topic is covered. Then relationship between international law and municipal law. There are various theories which you might have heard about, like dualistic theory, monoist theory, transformation theory, delegation theory, and specific adoption theory. These are the 5 theories about the relationship of international and municipal law. How international law are incorporated in our municipal law, the national law. There are different theories how it is incorporated. For example, in India, in the constitution, we have Article 253, which says that any treaties, when there is a treaty, when the state ratify it, then only it will be applicable in the municipal law. So that is specific adoption theory. So you have to specifically adopt the theory of international law. That is the relationship of international and municipal law. So these are 5, there are 5 different theories, and you have to know what is the meaning of all the theories. Then there are different bases of international law. Some says that it is a law of nature, some says it is a positivism, some says theory of consent is there, some says auto limitation theory is there. So these are the theories which are again important for international law. So these theory which I'm talking about, in these theories, there are different thinkers which exist, which has said different things. So those are things which are important for international law. Then one thing which you have heard of during your course of law is the sources of international law. The sources of international law, the second point which is given over here. What are the sources? Treaties, convention, then international uses, customs, the general principle of law, then judicial decisions. So these are various sources of international law. Now, treaties and convention like Article 38(1)(a) of the ICJ is there. So that talks about the treaties and convention and how it is incorporated. So these various sources and what are the ways in which these are recognized by different states, that is important. But for now, like at this moment, you can only just know the Article 38 of ICJ and these sources which are listed over there and what are the meaning of these sources. That would be enough. Then after this, there was a Vienna Convention on Law of Treaty, which is important. Question have been asked. Few questions from Vienna Convention, Article 53 and 64 is important. Then case laws, I've already told you that it is important. Then for recognition of state and government. Now for recognition of state and government, again, there are two theories of recognition. There are two theories of recognition. One is constitutive theory. The second is the declaratory theory. These are two theories of recognition. This is important, and from these two theories, what are the meaning of this theory and who are the thinkers under these two theories? That is important for the purpose of examination. So go through these two theories if you are covering this PIL. Then comes these topics, these fourth and fifth. You have to know the difference between IDP, asylum, and extradition. These are different concepts. You have to know what are the meaning of these topics and whether there is any law or any treaty or any convention about this. That is important. Then comes the UN and organ. Now, when we come to UN and organ, it is a complete vast topic in itself. UN and its organ. But for the last minute, I would tell you that just cover either cover the PYQ. If you are doing the PYQ, that will help. Otherwise, just understand that there are various organs of United Nations. So how many organs are there? Which organ was established when, and what is the composition of that organ is also very important. Right? For example, General Assembly is there, ECOSOC is there, Security Council is there. For all these three, there are different voting procedure, there are different composition, there are different time limit, etc. So that is important for you to know. And what is the purpose of these organs, obviously. Then IHL and challenges. For IHL and challenges, you can skip it also because few questions are asked from IHL and implementation of IHL and the challenges. This is very general. So if you have time, just go through the convention and protocol which exist. Convention and protocol like Geneva and Hague. So those things you can just go through the overview of that. So you will be able to answer those questions with common sense also if you know the basics of convention and what was the purpose of that convention or the protocol about IHL. So that would be enough. So yes, so and that's how we covered unit 3 also. So I hope I have covered everything, and thank you so much, and I hope to see you again in my next workshop, and I hope that all of you pass this examination with flying colors with JRF, and all the very best to all of you. Do you have
Thank you
any
so
doubt?
much, ma'am. No, ma'am, no doubt. Just wanted to say that it was indeed a wonderful preparation guide that you have given us. We will definitely take all the suggestions that you have given and implement it in our strategy, and we pass the examination for sure.
Thank you so much. All the very best to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.